Okay, Dr. Schumacher and audiologists, they can be part of this. What the heck? Marky Bilson, Tri-City Sports Now. Your voice of choice for a new generation. You know what else can be? But you know what would be really good right now? Asian House. I mean, you know I love Chinese food. You eat, if you could eat one food, I just say Chinese food. I'd miss my steaks. I'd miss my shrimp. No, I wouldn't miss shrimp because it's in the Chinese food. Now, come to think of it, beef with broccoli, is that not steak? It's not the same. Cutting in and pink in the middle and all that sort of stuff. I'll give you that. But Asian House gives you 10% off if you mention my name. Marky Bilson, Tri-City Sports Now. You do that, you get 10% off. That can go a long way. I mean, that can be, yeah, honey, we can have the dessert. Sure. Boy, I didn't realize the music was going on that long. I hope you are. So for a minute, you heard the background music in the back to our radio listeners. My apologies there. But here's what you want to do at Asian House. First of all, there are the shops at West Market. 10% off if you mention my name. What do they got to eat? GoAsianHouse.com will tell you. Really, and I say this, it's lunchtime right now, and the lunches start at $5.99, but they're discounted if you mention my name, like I said. But I am really championing sushi for lunch. As I said, you don't get that sluggish that you do, certainly if you go to a burger joint. But if you will, chicken, that sort of thing, you get sluggish middle of the day. This is high protein, this is rice, this is exotic, this is good, sushi. I mean, come on. It's been taken over the last, 20 years or so, United States. Time to get into it. I used to, like you said, when I was a cab driver, I used to have sushi for lunch. That would keep me going. A California roll. They'll make it there for you, too. Like I said, huge fan of Chinese food. Try that Happy Box out. So much food, not a lot of money. Discounted if you mention my name. Asian House, shops in West Market. Where is it? It's on your way to Jonesboro on West Market, just off of your left, Leisure Lane. There's a big shopping center there. Call them up ahead of time at goasianhouse.com and mention my name. You get 10% off, and you also see what their menu is. It really is a expansive menu with a lot of great dishes, and the meals all have egg rolls, so, hey, tip of the cap there. Asian House, go there today. Just one last thing on college football before we move on to college basketball. Biggest story, Big Ten Media Days. We talked about a Big Ten now once, they're upset that they're not getting into the college football playoffs because they only have the fifth best team and not one of the top four. So, got to put an end to that. Big Ten has a lot of influence, and I say look for it to happen when the contract ends up 2026. And it's probably inevitable. There are certain things that I absolutely hate that are probably inevitable. The DH in the National League, it's probably inevitable. The expanded college football playoff, if we can just get rid of some of these bowls. Really? Why does 7 and 5 Southern California need to go to a bowl? Who's really jacked up for that? That is disappointing. Used to be Notre Dame didn't go to those sort of bowls. Just wasn't, at one time, I know this, in 1963, it is said, although I once called up the Sun Bowl, and they said, I don't know if they ever really extended an offer to them and all this, but the Pitt Panthers, used to be their sideline reporter, so I know their history. In 63, they were number 3 in the country, UPI poll, number 4 in the AP. 10-1, only lost to Roger Staubach's Navy squad. Got, I think it was 5 votes for number 1. Did not play in a bowl game. There are a lot of reasons for that, including games that were delayed because of the Kennedy assassination. See that? Pete Rozelle, college football, rescheduled some games. It may have actually hurt the Pitt program a lot. But it was just, you know what? Yeah, we could probably go to a bowl game, but Sugar Bowl segregated, and we're not leaving our black players back. And Sun Bowl's beneath us. We're 10-1. Just like to see some of that. Like to see, a 10-2 Rutgers team rewarded with something other than the Texas Bowl. The talk of college football, and now we forget about it. That one year. Yeah, Shiano was a coach then, sure, I think, though, Big Ten, I think is overrated? I think they got some overrated coaches. One of them is Jim Harbaugh. This is the guy who thought that Colin Kaepernick was better than Alex Smith. By the way, I saw a ranking, you want to know something equally, that where Alex Smith was actually ranked, I saw this on Twitter or something, somebody ranked Alex Smith the 25th best quarterback of all time. I mean, Jim Harbaugh did not think that Alex Smith was one of the 25 best in the league when he played Colin Kaepernick. So, regardless, he's come out with now saying he would like to see Jim Harbaugh transfers be immediately eligible. Which is it's intriguing. And of course, he's got some Shea Patterson to, over the years, transfer to Michigan. I would not be surprised if that happened. He says only one time. I mean, let's not be one of these basketball deals where we're transferring from, school to school and, that sort of stuff. Let's not be, who's that guy? Preston Parks, who I think will be going to his third college playing basketball, former Citadel player. Let's not have that. Then you got to sit out a year. It's one thing the coach is fired and, I didn't come to play for the new guy. It's one thing for, I'm not playing like they told me I would. It's another for, I thought I was going to study pre-med, but that's a little too tough. I'd like basket weaving someplace else. It's one thing for those things. Or basket weaving isn't as challenging. Let's go take pre-med somewhere. That sort of thing. I've got a God complex. Pre-med. But, Anyway, Harbaugh said it. Look for that. I mean, there's going to be college athletics. Certainly, it's always changing. But these are things that could happen sooner than later. And my goodness, how are you going to explain, yes, you can transfer from FBS to FCS, like, say, Weldon did, or Chance Thrasher did, from Coastal Carolina at ETSU, or in the case of Weldon, from Miami to ETSU, and you can play right away. There's no problem with that. You can be Logan Marching and go from Temple to ETSU and play right away. I'm not sure anyone was really fortunate that happened. You can do all those things. But you can't transfer from, let's say, Temple to Tennessee. I wonder if one of the reasons why is that new, that college basketball transferring up. Certainly Mladen Armas thought he was going to do that. Debatable whether transferring up from ETSU to Boise State, But that transferring up that players are trying to do these days, I wonder if that's to prevent that from happening. So you can't have the going from FBS school to FBS, but even so, from a, they're all student athletes standpoint, which the administrators like to tell you, how is it okay then, realistically, if they're really student athlete, we're putting the student first, that transferring from, I said, Miami to Michigan, you got to sit out a year. Transferring Michigan to ETSU, you ain't play right away. From an ethical standpoint for the player, how does that make sense? Jim Harbaugh is saying it, and so Harbaugh. It looks like, I know he can wear out his welcome, but it looks like he's going to be the coach of the Michigan Wolverines for quite some time. Okay, I kept telling you about college basketball and who the favorites will be coming up this season, which is what right now the favorite is Michigan State at 6-1. They actually opened on April 8th at 8-1. They've gone down to 6-1. So Michigan State right now, if we're looking at college basketball, these off-season college basketball stories. But here's one. The odds are out. Michigan State is the favorite. Kentucky is next at 7-1. A school, they may be playing Tennessee, that has moved up a lot recently is Kansas. They opened up at 20-1 and are now at 8-1. Another school that has moved up is Penny Hardaway's Memphis Tigers, who seem to be recruiting very well. They opened in April at 80-1, and as we speak today, they are 14-1. To win a national title. Okay. Also of note, possibly because well, no, he won't be able to play right away. Florida has gone from 60-1 to 20-1, and Maryland has gone from 80-1 to 20-1. On the other side of things, Virginia, the national champion, they opened up as a favorite at 7-1. They're now down to 25-1. Now, bad news for Tennessee fans, although it is not that much of a surprise. The Tennessee Volunteers, their odds have fallen since they opened about 2.5 months ago from 20-1 to win the national title all the way down to 60-1. I think there's serious questions over whether or not they're going to make the NCAA tournament. And there's nobody in the front court. Why to avoid the Volunteers, according to CBS and Kyle Boone? He says Grant Williams, Admiral Schofield, and Jordan Bone, the team's leading scorers from last year, are all gone. Rick Barnes has his work cut out for him. He does really like Josiah Jordan James. Talked about him a lot. I think the guards will be fine next year, a lot because James is coming back. That's why I was not weeping over Jordan Bone. But who are they going to throw to in the post? That's the question. Right now, yeah, it's Fulkers. It's the product from Kingsport, for crying out loud, who has averaged 3 points a game last year and didn't score at all against Loyola in the NCAA tournament. That was back in 2018. Other odds to kind of look at: Davidson, somebody like somebody started off at 1,000-1. They are at 300-1. Virginia Tech, they may have gotten Wofford's old coach, but I'm looking for them. Their odds are not necessarily, as I go down the list here for Virginia Tech. They've gone from 300-1 to 500-1. Not that great. Belmont's odds are 1,000-1. They've held steady. ETSU, 2,000-1 to win the national title. They're probably going to be the favorite in the SoCon. SoCon's never won a national title. West Virginia back in 59 made it real close. But there you go. If you think that the SoCon champ might be able to do it, 2,001. All right? Just thinking, saying.